And welcome back to another announcement video. This week, we have a lot of information from the ban restricted announcement. We'll be getting to that later in the video for sure. But we need to talk some stuff first about Arena, the Arena Championship, whatnot. Before I continue, please leave a like, subscribe, comment, all the good stuff. Helps the algorithm. You guys have been doing a great job. Thank you. Moving on. So, we got Arena Championship 7's winner. I'm sorry if I butcher your name, Keisuke Sato. Um, Congrats. We have a winner, and I didn't watch it. I'm so sorry. Um, but there you go. Overlords were cast, Heart Fire Heroes were buffed, and Ghost Vacuums cleaned out the competition. Interesting. Oh yeah, it's a graveyard card. Okay. Um, check the death. You can check the deck list from this article and whatnot. And so awesome. So oh, they played Gruul Aggro. There you go. So if you are looking into their deck, they are playing Gruul Aggro. So there you go. And then the qualifier for Arena Championship 8 is happening. There's a qualifier plan happening this weekend, the 20th, that you can do. It's a best of three playing event. So if you're looking into that, you know, to get into the next Arena Championship, there you go. You have a chance. Moving on, of course, we still are having Pioneer Masters as one of the main sets right now. They're switching the Planeswalker bonus sheets into the spell bonus sheets starting December 24th. So every sheet, they add different card to the Pioneer Masters set. So um, it will rotate every 2 weeks. So this last week and this week is going to be Planeswalkers, and then the following 2 weeks can be spell bonus sheet, and then in the 2 weeks after that will be the devotion bonus sheet. And yeah, moving on, we'll go to the announced another Arena Direct. So if you don't know what this is, basically, you play in this event. I forget what the cost is. Doesn't really state. But you spend gems to enter this event, and if you win the event, if you win out, you actually earn physical boxes with physical cards of this set. So the set's going to be Bloomborough. So you, for every event you win, you earn 2 Bloomborough play booster boxes in this event. So if you want to spend gems to play in an event and earn some play boxes, go for it. I don't feel comfortable enough to do that. I'd rather use my, as a free to play player, I'd rather use my gems on um, the mastery passes and stuff. But if you feel comfortable enough with your skill sets, go for it. I don't see why you can't. I just don't feel like I'm that great of a player. I punt a lot. Yeah. But I think this event is pretty cool. I think my only thing was maybe because from I haven't seen. I don't know. They might have changed it, but the first one that I saw, your what was it? Your first 3 wins don't reward you with anything, and I thought that was like, oh no, like I don't want this. Basically you had to like win out. And I was like, I don't know, it's like 5,000 gems or whatever, or I forget what it was, and I think it was like 5,000 gems, and I was like, I don't know, I don't think I want to do this. But once you go past your third win and it's like 4, 5, and 6, um you do get rewarded with gems. So you can get some gems back. Like let's say you don't win out, um, uh, you you at least get some gems back, so you can try again. So I thought that was cool, but it's still kind of like throwing so much into like an event. Of course, the it's like high risk, high reward kind of event. So yeah, um, not my thing, but I'm glad they have something like this available for people who want to invest into arena and push out to physical, stuff. Coming up next, they are having some winter sales on the arena store. I'm curious if they're going to do anything like percentage off on um, packs and stuff, but they are just basically talking about like bundles for like avatars and stickers and sleeves and stuff like that. But it would be cool for like packs and whatnot. That would be really cool. But they are talking about basically just cosmetic stuff, which I think is cool. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think um, a lot of people like their cosmetics and would love to spend some coin or real money, gems and stuff like that on the stuff. Um, because I don't know, people like that. I'm not one, but you know, um, I think it's cool that it'll come cheaper, and it seems like it's stuff that has come out before because they do say these bundles are prorated, meaning their costs will be reduced depending on how much of their content you already own. So I'm guessing it's older stuff, and if you already own some of it, you don't get charged for it. So I think that's cool. I like that. I like that they're incorporating that in a lot of the stuff that a lot of the bundles they sell, where if you already own some of it, it's like we won't charge you for it, which I think that's cool. Now moving on to the banned and restricted announcement. I'm going to the article now. So the only thing that really affects us is Gigantha, the Wellspring, being banned in Explorer and Pioneer. Um, I'm not really including the Explorer because anything banned in Pioneer, they're forcefully banning in Explorer. Even if in Explorer it's not an issue, they're pre-banning it. And they go down into detail. Basically, they're saying that like in Pioneer, uh, it's forcing players to not even try to play newer cards because um, Gigantha forces you to build your deck a certain way, and even though there's newer cards that are cool or whatever or better, you can't put it in the deck, so you don't put it in the deck. So you're just forcefully not using new cards, which I guess like in a business sense, you're like, well, we want you to play with the new cards, so I get it. But also, I guess there's just saying like there's so many decks running this as a companion that it's just like you know it the meta is just kind of bleh. I'm like, okay, fair enough. That's kind of always been their thing. When I played modern a lot, that was their excuse for most of their bannings. Like, oh, it's making the matches are stale, or it's the format stale because of it. I'm like, oh, okay, for sure, I guess. Um, so that's why they're banning Gigantha, but hopefully they give us um I guess it's effective now, so I don't know if they're planning to give us wildcards on the format anytime soon, but if you have Gigantha, if not, I mean, I don't know. It's one of those where, especially if it's banned in Pioneer, it's like it would be nice if it wasn't. You are still able to play in obviously historic, timeless, and brawl. I was about to say standard, but not standard. Alchemy. So, don't fret if you're like, but I can't use this card. It's like it's available in other locations. Um, uh, Someone I follow on Twitter made a good statement of like, don't any of these banned cards don't try to sell them as soon as possible because they are like, for example, the One Ring. That's going to be the next in the modern. The One Ring got banned. A lot of people saw this coming. A lot of people were asking for it. But a good what you call it advice is don't just sell it like, oh, okay, I gotta get rid of it now before it goes cheaper. Like the One Ring is a very powerful card, just like Gigantha. The powerful card. don't just fire sell it because you don't like you want it to get as much money back before it goes bad, before it goes low or whatever. I would save it because it's still pretty good. You can still run it in a lot of decks. You can build a commander deck with that as your companion. There's a lot of things you can do that route, right? Might be banned in Pioneer, but it's still legal. Um, in Legacy and Vintage, like I said, Commander. As I was about to say Modern, but it's banned in Modern now. So, and it's the same reasoning why they said why it's banned in Pioneer. It's just forcing decks to not branch out because Gigant is just forcing them to play certain spells. And another thing banned in Modern is Amped Raptor. It is basically uh Boros energy is just very, very powerful modern. And it's a huge percentage of the meta, and they just wanted to get rid of a card where it'll kind of lower it. And I kind of agreed with their assessment where they said every other card um in that deck could be banned, and help kind of do what Amcraft did, but the difference is that the other cards actually fit in other decks. Guide of Souls fits in like a Soul Sisters S deck. So like it makes sense that this is the only one that's like you only run Amped in a in a energy deck. Like so, I think it's a good banning. People were expecting more cards from the deck to be banned, but I think one card banning at a time is best, because you might just completely ruin the deck. Oh. Sorry, it's early for me. Um, and so I think Amp Raptor banning was a great choice. Now, something I didn't expect, which I'm super stoked, I didn't expect it, but I was hoping for, is unbannings in Modern. Mox Opal, Green Sun Zenith, Faithless Looting, and Splinter Twin. Now, Splinter Twin holds a little spot in my heart because that was like the meta deck. It was like the boogeyman of like Modern when I first started playing Magic, and so I always admired it. It sucked playing against it, but I always admired it. um and it got banned, and I thought, it got banned for the not the greatest reasons. And I'm glad they finally unbanned it now. Will it be good in Modern? I guess we'll find out. Because it's like it's a consistent deck, but is it better than what's already available with the Horizon decks? Right. We'll find out. I hope it goes good. Fifth Looting again got banned for no reason. They were trying to make a Hogak. Uh, they're trying to force Hogak to like not get banned, so they banned things around it. And Faithless Looting was one of those bannings, and that they actually stated that Faithless Looting died because of Hogak for and Hogak ended up being banned anyway. So I'm glad they brought it back. Green Sun Zenith was one of those too, where they're saying like green isn't a powerful deck at the moment, so they they are unbanning it because it's like the things you can hit with green aren't as devastating as like things you can hit with other colors, right? You can't just get any creature; it has to be a green creature, and so that's why they're unbanning it, which I think is pretty cool. I like that. The Mox Opal thing, they said affinity, um, affinity decks aren't as rampant. They're hoping that other cards um in the Horizon sets would make affinity a thing, but it is not. It's actually, and I think it's just other cards, making it not great. But Mox Opal has fast mana coming out. We'll see. It's always scary to have fast mana like that. I still am glad they're unbanning it just because it's one of those like cards where it was nice. It was cool to dream of like, oh, I can make the super janky deck with Mox Opal and make it decent. Like Mox Opal is one of those cards, like Faithless Looting, that makes super jank decks work. So when you ban those cards, those jank decks kind of are useless now. So Moving on, Legacy, Psychic Frog and Vexing Bauble. Honestly, not gonna lie, um, I have no idea the the meta of Legacy, but I have heard people talk about Vexing Bauble and Psychic Frog being banned, and you got what you got, and or you got what you asked for. So, congratulations. Not in a bad thing, not being sarcastic. This is I've seen it a lot. People were asking for these to be banned, so cool. Hopefully the format gets better. Obviously no changes to vintage, no changes to alchemy, of course. We talked about explorer, historic, no changes, timeless, no changes, and brawl, no changes. And they do go into detail about why basically what I spoke and what they said. Further in the article. So if you want to look at that, you can. Um, I'll link in the description below. And so that's a banned and restricted announcement. And Gavin Verhey, which is the Coast employee, um, did announce that they are looking into Popper, but they didn't talk about it in the article because Popper, um, Popper's Popper, right? And so they do have a banned list and everything, but it's one of those where um, it isn't followed as heavily as obviously modern or standard or explorer, right? And so it's kind of like done on the side, kind of like Commander. Like Commander's obviously now that Wizard of the Coast is dealing with bannings for Commander. Pauper's kind of in the same boat where like the numbers are there, but like not as consistent as the other formats. So he's asking for some feedback and what everyone thinks and all that stuff. So if people think it's a healthy environment right now, there's some certain decks or certain cards. There is that on the side. Moving on to more arena news. Explore challenge returns. So this is basically you go into an event and you spend some currency. I forget if it's gold or um, gems only. And then you get the best of one explorer. So right now it's explorer, right? So best of one explorer constructed, and you play until you get one loss. And then if you win out, 7 wins, you get 5,000 gold and 30 Pioneer Masters packs, which is pretty good reward. But um, again, you can't lose. You have to just win out. Um, so if you're into that and interested, it will be this weekend starting Friday up until Sunday. That goes into our event schedule. So midweek magic, we have the Brawl Builder Challenge, Pioneer Masters. So this is basically you get a commander or a legendary creature from Pioneer Masters. So any of these, when it comes to these, you know how I am. Try not to use up any wild cards. If you are interested in a deck, though, I've seen plenty of people already using Brawl. Someone I follow, Amazonian, who does Brawl Stars. They've already done a few decks with commanders in the Pioneer Masters. So if you already have the decks and you've already been running them, run those. Don't feel like you need to build new ones. Just run the ones that you've already done. Some of these are reprints. Let's see. I know there's a reprint somewhere. Um, Goreclaw. This is a reprint. So if you have a Goreclaw deck, like what I'm gonna do, I had never built a Goreclaw deck, but I did build a was it I keep wanting to say Gigantha. Big dinosaur, 12/12 costs less for each power and creature you control. I'm just gonna swap that with Goreclaw and then call it a day. Just be like, there you go. Here's a big green monster deck, and that's all I'm gonna do. Just swapping over. So, like I said, some of these are reprints, or maybe you already have a deck that would be fine because let's say you have a ramp deck in what is this Simic, and you're like, okay, I'm just going to get Crufix and throw it as my commander and play the deck that way. Perfectly fine. Um, that works, you know. You got black red, you know. Yeah, there's just different ways for you to just to not spend too many wild cards. And or like you've been opening up some packs and see what you've pulled. Maybe you could just make a deck real quick with what you own. But I always highly recommend don't try to use wild cards for at least for midweek magic. The whole point of midweek magic is for you to build your collection and earn some wild cards towards the decks you want. And then the following week will be Explorer Showcase. So there are going to be some pre-constructed decks for Explorer. We get to play it against each other, and so there's no real strategy until we see what decks they put out, and also uh, just trying out a new format and seeing if you like it. The following one would be Foundations Phantom Sealed. So um, good luck with Sealed. I have no advice other than bombs, removal, evasion, aggro, and duds. Bread. um, uh, just yeah. But it is Phantom, so you wouldn't keep any of the cards. And it's free, so we just And the cool thing about Seal that I like is like, let's say you have like you get cards, and you're like, I could build two different decks with this. You can play one deck and see how you like it. If you don't like it, you just switch over and play the other deck, and you just keep playing if you want to keep playing. If you want, let's say you pull something amazing, you're like, man, I'm killing it with this deck. You can keep playing. There's you can play as many uh, matches as you want, and remember, you losses don't affect you midweek magic. Okay. Pioneer Masters Phantom Sealed will be the following um week. So this one, same thing, sealed, but instead of foundation is going to be Pioneer Master. So same advice there. Says with all three Pioneer Master bonus packs available. So those bonus sheets are going to be specifically all available for this one. So I think that's pretty cool. There you go. So that's the midweek magic event schedule. Then we'll be moving on to quick draft. We're currently going through Bloomborough, and then after that we'll have foundations. Other events, we already talked about the Explorer Meta Game Challenge. We talked about the Arena Direct Bloomborough. Standard Metagame Challenge will be January 3rd to the 5th. So that'll be the first weekend of the new year. Crazy to think about. It's already going to be 2025. Wow. Then we got December qualifier events. So this week we got best of three plan, and we got the qualifier weekend. We already talked about this, and then of course the ranked season. Uh, we got a braid as our uncommon. We got scrawling crawler as our rare. There you go. That's our announcements for the week. Let me know how you guys feel in the comments below. Did you like the bannings? Did you not like the bannings? Any of this other info affect you? What do you think about the Arena Direct? Yeah, just let me know, and then like if you like the video, subscribe if you like my content overall, and I'll catch everyone next time. Bye bye.